The day it finally snapped for me didn't start with drama or shouting or some big movie moment. It started with laughter, not mine. The kind of laughter that tells you people have already decided who you are, what you're worth, and how small they think you should stay. I remember standing there with my hands clenched, heat rushing up my neck, thinking, wow, so this is how they see me. And yeah, that was the moment everything changed. Let me back up. For a long time, I was the easy target, the quiet one, the one people talked over, talked down to, or talked about like I wasn't even in the room. At work, I was the extra employee, the one who should just be grateful to be there. In life, I was the person others felt comfortable underestimating. You know the type. Reliable, hardworking, never loud enough to scare anyone. I told myself it didn't matter. I told myself dignity meant staying calm, keeping my head down, doing my job. And, for a while, that lie worked. The problem with being underestimated is that people stop hiding their disrespect. It leaks out in jokes, in sighs, in that tone they use when they think they're smarter, richer, better than you. My main opponent, the one who really embodied all of this, was my supervisor. Let's call him Ryan. Ryan had everything I didn't. Confidence without substance, connections without effort, and that smirk people get when they think the world owes them loyalty. He loved reminding me where I stood. Relax, he'd say whenever I pushed back. I'm just joking. Yeah, sure. Funny how the joke was always on me. Every meeting felt like a test I didn't sign up for. He'd interrupt me mid-sentence, then repeat my idea 5 minutes later like it was his own. People would nod. Someone would say, "Good point, Ryan." I'd sit there thinking, did anyone else just hear that? But I didn't speak up. Not yet. I was playing the long game even if I didn't fully realize it at the time. At home, things weren't much easier. Money was tight. Really tight. The kind of tight where you know exactly how many days you can stretch a grocery bag. I was helping my mom with medical bills, picking up extra shifts, telling myself this phase would pass. I'd come home exhausted, replaying conversations in my head, wondering if maybe they were right. Maybe I was invisible because I didn't deserve to be seen. Then came the project. The one Ryan treated like his personal spotlight. High stakes, big clients, lots of attention from upper management. He called me into his office, leaned back in his chair and said, "I'll need you to handle the background work. You're good at that. Background work." That was his favorite phrase. Translation: do the heavy lifting, don't expect credit. I almost said no, almost. Instead, I nodded and said, "Sure." And that's when he smiled, that satisfied little grin like he'd just confirmed exactly who he thought I was. What he didn't know was that I was done playing small. I didn't want revenge. I wanted clarity. I wanted the truth to be impossible to ignore. So I worked, harder than I ever had. I documented everything. Emails, drafts, revisions, timelines. I anticipated problems before they happened. When Ryan cut corners, I filled the gaps quietly. When he made promises he couldn't keep, I built solutions he didn't understand. And the whole time, I watched. The turning point came during a late-night prep session. Ryan was pacing, stressed, snapping at everyone. At one point, he looked at me and said, "If this fails, it's on you. Just so we're clear, that was it." Something in me went cold. Calm. Clear. I looked him straight in the eye and said, "If it fails, the facts will speak for themselves." He laughed. Actually laughed. "You really think anyone's going to listen to you?" The presentation day arrived. Big room, big screens, big egos. Ryan walked in like he owned the place. I sat a few seats down, quiet, composed, heart pounding. The presentation started smoothly, too smoothly. Halfway through, a client asked a technical question. Ryan froze. Just for a second, but it was enough. He glanced at me. I didn't move. "I believe that was addressed in the appendix," I said calmly, projecting my voice for the room. I stood up, walked to the screen, and pulled up the exact data they needed. The room shifted. You could feel it. Eyes turning, attention snapping into focus. I explained the process, the safeguards, the contingencies. Not defensively. confidently. Ryan tried to interrupt. What she means is, "No," the client said, holding up a hand. "Let her finish." That was the moment. The air changed. The truth was visible now. Questions started coming directly to me. Real questions. Respectful ones. Ryan shrank with every answer I gave. When the meeting ended, the room buzzed with approval. One of the executives pulled me aside and said, "Why haven't we heard more from you before?" I smiled. "You're hearing me now." The fallout was quiet but brutal. Ryan avoided eye contact. His jokes disappeared. A week later, I was offered a new role. Higher responsibility. Direct access. No more background work. When Ryan found out, he cornered me near the elevator. "You planned this," he said, voice tight. I looked at him and said, "No. I prepared for it. There's a difference. Here's the thing people don't tell you. Winning doesn't always feel like fireworks. Sometimes it feels like relief, like finally standing upright after years of bending. The real victory wasn't the promotion or the recognition. It was the moment I stopped seeing myself through someone else's contempt. I still think about that laughter from the beginning, how small it made me feel, and how wrong it turned out to be. Being underestimated isn't a curse. It's cover. It gives you space to grow, to sharpen, to decide who you're going to be when the moment comes. So let me ask you something. Have you ever been written off, laughed at, overlooked? Or maybe you've been on the other side judging someone before they had the chance to speak. Where do you draw the line between confidence and cruelty, between patience and silence? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where you stand.